let's build a YouTube campaign. And now I'm going to show you something pretty cool that maybe nobody really knew. It's going to be awesome. First thing before you start to build your YouTube campaign, though, you're going to want to build your audiences first. We already touched upon this, but inside of tools, audience manager here, then custom audiences. These are the custom audiences that you're going to want to start to create before running YouTube. This is going to be one of the areas that we're going to run a YouTube ad to. Again, we already touched upon this. Any questions here so far? My opinion, people who browse these types of websites, not really built out just yet. This is a new area, only about, I think, 8 months old, maybe 10 months old inside of Google Ads. This is a newer area. So I haven't yet found, I think, maturity in browse types of websites. Use type of ads or apps have been pretty good because one of the agencies, obviously for us, I want to target people using this, the Google Ads app. Yeah, if I'm going after people looking to Google Ads, that's perfect for me. So people that are using Google Ads app, usually as a Google Ads manager, might need help with Google Ads or an agency. So this is a great target for me. But if something like that doesn't obviously exist for e-commerce, then it might be a little bit difficult. You might have people that use, workout apps and you have workout equipment. Great. That's a perfect thing. At-home workout routines and you sell at-home workout equipment. Awesome. That's going to be a good one for you. But for just generalized, could be 100 different users, 100 different avatars, might not find the proper one. And then visited certain places. This is actually, this is realistic places. So think like, so plumbing and supply, food and drink, retailers and shops. Again, if I'm Nike and I got $1 million a day, like I might just look at retail shops and then put shoes in there. So, because obviously I have the budget to blow. The reason why these really top of funnel-esque type of targeting options exist is because with enough budget and an automated bidding strategy, you will find what works. It might be very expensive, but you will find what works eventually. Just keep that in mind when you're looking at, very targeted approach. So the next area though, that you want to build into a audience is going to be the keyword section. And we're going to build this afterwards. I just want to share this with you. This here, you actually get what they call DSK. This is, I don't know why they're called DSK. It should be called probably DBK. But DSK is display search keywords. Display search keywords is going to function very well, just like your search campaign will. A good common practice is on YouTube and display is taking your search campaign keywords and copying that into here. Just directly paste in there. And then make sure that you're using hopefully the most relevant keywords, you can on search, because this is going to be outbound. This can spend a lot of money really fast and go everywhere. So Google's going to say, hey, people that are looking for like hot pepper hot sauce, I don't know why the hot pepper hot sauce, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but that's bringing in good traffic. This is just indicative. Even though my cost per conversion is astronomical, these people are really good users. I think we have a chat.
For people who visited these websites in custom audiences, would Amazon.com be a good idea if our products are not available there to steal traffic?
Well, you have to think about, this is going to be everyone that goes to Amazon, and that's going to be a ton of people. So people that could be going to Amazon could be people that are going to Amazon to look for, leather pants.
Leather pants?
Is that relevant to you?
Is that what you buy on Amazon, John?
I am very weird on Amazon. No, I'm going to use a weird example. So leather pants, if you're like, yeah, that audience is not relevant to me because it's leather pants. I just hopefully no one sells leather pants here.
What are you saying about people who wear leather pants?
Well, if you sell a cat condo, that's not a good idea. Should have gone with red shoes. See why I say red shoes or something like that? That's exactly why I use the red shoes, because otherwise I get weird with like leather pants. I watched Friends episode like 3 nights ago with Ross in leather pants, so that's why it's just stuck in my mind now. Yeah, exactly. The show, you had the same idea as I did. Yeah, okay, good. Someone else is just not thinking that I'm weird. Perfect. So yeah. The two tight pants. Yeah. So when you look at people that go to Amazon, they could be looking for leather pants. And that's an audience that, here's what sucks, is Google is going to not care what you really have for sale. You're telling it, hey, we'll go to Amazon. Perfect. These 100 people went to Amazon today. Start to show ads to them. And it's just not going to be that mindset. If they were going to, what I would say is a DSK or as DSK keywords, here's what's cool about this. It's so funny. Audience keyword targeting is no longer available. That's a lie. This has been here for about a year now, and it's always been available. So ignore that. It might go away one day. I've just been waiting for it to go away for over a year now, and it hasn't. It's had really good performance. So keep using it here. But basically, this just says, hey, we just made custom audiences out of these. Interestingly enough, DSK has a lot shorter learning period than custom audiences. Custom audience could take a week to get up and running. DSK usually takes about 2 days to get up and running. So they still work independently of each other. But a good way to use YouTube and display, you'll see it on the display and on YouTube. They're very similar. They're very similar keywords. We just copied and pasted it in there. And then even our brand name here is just not really getting much traffic. It's just hot sauce is getting all the traffic and clicks. Same with pepper sauces. So again, use the keywords appropriately, knowing that even 1 or 2 visits might not turn into obviously any conversions, but they're now being remarketed to on Smart Shopping. These are sacrificial, expansive campaigns. Did I bring a relevant user to the site? Yes. Did Smart Shopping find them first? No. DSK did. Display search keywords, both on YouTube and GSP. Then they start to be remarketed to on Smart Shopping. Smart Shopping sells them. And now all of a sudden I went from $50 a day up to $150 a day in my Smart Shopping campaign. That's how these work. So let's build a, I'm gonna build one in here just because I think I have videos I can use. Actually, no, I'll build one in here because I want to share something really, really cool. So new campaign. Give me a minute because I kind of forgot. Hold on. Yes, okay, it is this one. YouTube campaign. Here's what is amazing. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I have to use, I don't have a feed in here. I have to use, yeah, I'm gonna use Yellowbird because I have a feed in there. So the best YouTube campaign for Smart Shopping is going to be a YouTube shopping campaign. Share with you what that looks like. So we're going to build a new campaign. Here's where Google messes up. If I typed in sales and I typed in video, it says, oh, drive conversions. It's just going to use a regular YouTube campaign. You can have skippables, but it's just going to be like, hey, we're going to show an ad to people that's going to try to drive conversions. But if I choose it without a goal guidance and I use video, oh, it's like, oh, do we want shopping? That's amazing. It's like hidden. If you tell Google what you need, it gives you the wrong campaign. So again, hopefully Google updates this soon, but this is why sometimes you create a campaign without a goal guidance because you get more features that you didn't have if you just selected sales or even leads or website traffic. So by creating a campaign without a goal guidance and then using video, you can then use shopping, promote relevant products, and get people to shop on your website with skippable in-stream ads. And then you connect your feed here. Oh, sorry, I just oh, someone was trying to enter the room. Okay, so I heard a ding, so I wasn't sure. So that's shopping. You want to connect your feed here, and this is what's cool about the shopping ads. Then let's build it. So video shopping, merchant is going to be merchant center, product filter. My opinion is for the ad specifically, if you wanted to build a few different versions of these, what you can do is choose specific products, and you get to choose the specific products that are going to be featured in or next to the YouTube ad if the YouTube ad is about those products. So I'll share with you a quick example because I'll be able to share with you soon on YouTube shopping ad. A YouTube shopping ad looks like this. They're going to have a YouTube ad here. Let me copy image address and then pull it up here so I can, there, perfect. That's nice and big. So this is what a YouTube shopping ad looks like. If you're watching a YouTube video, you're going to see the ads underneath it. If you're just on YouTube and they think that you're interested in these products, they're going to show you the ads underneath it. They're just going to show the ad in your search. If you're also watching a specific video, I don't know who this is, so just forgive me if the content's odd. Okay, there's something called Sleep Tight. Anyway, here's what's interesting is this is a little bit different, so ignore this part here. But normally what happens is if you're watching a YouTube video here, this product section is going to be actually featured up here. It's going to be next to it. And I'll show you what that looks like. I just want to give you an example first so that you can see, okay, now I understand why you're choosing those products. The reason is if you have a product video, the product video is having a video about that specific product. Don't show an ad for a different product. Make sure that the product that you're showing an ad for is next to it, clickable. Because why? This is a shopping ad. They're going to click on it, go to that page. They don't buy. Smart Shopping is going to remarket to them. So these products here, you can actually choose, well, yeah, my video that I'm going to show is only really about, my 2-pack samples. So I'm going to do 2-pack of ghost pepper, 2-pack of habanero serrano, and 2-pack of sriracha ghost pepper. Cool. Now my video about like, hey, try the sample packs and choose the 2 ones that you like. Then they get to say, well, okay, well, which ones do I like? They get to choose their flavor. Awesome. So campaign with a product filter may take 1 to 3 days of running. Fine, let it run. Now, here's the bad part, is you don't get to use automated bidding strategies. So what you're leaning on is relevancy, and you're leaning on high amount of traffic because your backup, your safety net is Smart Shopping. That's going to remarket to everyone that clicked on a product ad and went to the website. If you're running on the sales lead strategy, you're going to have maximized conversions or target CPA. Those are the 2 options you will have available to you if you don't run shopping. I don't understand why they don't give you target CPA on a product ad, but it is what it is. We have a backup, which is Smart Shopping, that's going to take over from here. So you're going to have to run a maximum CPV. Maximum CPV means cost per view. What are you going to pay to get this ad viewed by someone? You need to start high, work your way down. Just because you start high doesn't mean you're going to get high. Start at $2. Depending upon the depending upon the competitiveness of the product. I've had campaigns that run $15 a click on video shopping, but that was for shoes, and that was a very big brand. So yeah, it was very competitive. But for us, usually $1 to $2 per click. You'll probably get 2 cents per view, and maybe $2 per click. So maximum cost per view, set it at $1. Just to work your way down. It needs that. That's why it's going to take a couple of days to start running. You need to give this high. If you set it like, I only want to pay 5 pennies per view, which is probably what you're going to get, it won't run. Set it at $1. You'll get probably 16 cents, and then it'll start to optimize after that. It starts going down. Campaign total. This is, in my opinion, don't run this. Switch it over to daily. If you said, hey, I only want to spend $500, I want to test this against other products, that's cool. Then you can run a campaign that has an end date. You might outpace your learning by ending it too soon before it starts to pick up. So just know that, because video campaigns take at least $5,000 to $10,000. Usually we say per month to see performance, but if you have $5,000 to $10,000 over the course of 4 to 6 months, it'll be good, and it'll just get better 4 to 6 months after that. It takes that long time to start to ramp up. My opinion: use daily and use it on a good expansive. So $30 to $50 per day. Again, you don't run these in the beginning if you don't need to. This is going to be expansion. This is where Smart Shopping says, I just can't find anybody else. You're helping it. End dates, none. That's perfect. That's safe. There we go. Okay, cool. Networks. You only get to do YouTube videos. It's not going to show in the YouTube search results because it's product ads. And it's not going to show on the Partners Network because this is also product ads. The Partner Network is not built for shopping on YouTube. These are going to be YouTube specific. But what's nice is you have a captive audience that is not doing anything else. So that's the good part about this. Locations, again, you don't really get a lot of the functionality. This is going off of your feed. So where your feed is allowed to run in, that's where your location is going to run. So if your feed is approved in the United States and you said, yeah, I'd like to enter it into Canada, it's not going to run there. Just choose the same feed options. This is going to be very shopping-esque. Languages, again, I would say not all languages because it's going to be showing on YouTube channels and videos as in stream skippables. So you want to run, make sure that you run the proper language. Inventory type, again, I kind of like to run the standard inventory. Limited inventory this is where you get to kind of select the exclusions and exclusion labels. But I like standard inventory because I'm going to use DSK. I don't necessarily need to run expanded if I'm okay with excessive profanity and graphic. If it's brand specific, there are some brands that we run that is a little bit like we had to make sure that the right client manager was appropriate for that campaign because it's a little risque and a little bit extreme. So again, to each their own. If you're worried about running ads that are not brand appropriate, just choose the standard inventory. And then limited means basically not this is like G-rated, like kids stuff kind of things. Excluded types and labels. I don't do this just because I don't mind if someone has been actively researching or planning a purchase of my product and they're watching an embedded YouTube video. Yeah, I'll share my product ad with them. Just know that the embedded YouTube videos are not going to have the shopping functionality built in next to it, but it will be a relevant ad, and they will have a link to go to your website if they don't choose on one of those products. So know that there's a backup there. They can either choose the products or they can click on the ad and go to your website. Live stream videos, again, not going to be product clicks, but it doesn't mean that if they don't click, they're not going to look at a product, and the smart shopping is going to pick up from there. So, and then this is the, if you want to exclude anything here, but again, this is going to be more personal preference or business preference. Additional settings. You're going to see that it's going to use the account setting, conversion action, use Google Shopping App Purchase. That's because it's the only one that I have. So it just defaults to that. Devices, here's where I actually have a difference. I exclude TV screens because I'm looking for a supplemental campaign to my smart shopping. The supplemental campaign to my smart shopping means I need a visit, and I need a visit, and I need some searches. That happens on computers, mobiles, and tablets. Sometimes less on tablets, but to each their own. That's just going to be in the optimizations that we'll talk about tomorrow. But I always exclude TV screens because I can spend the money per view, but those don't drive me a lot of clicks. So I always exclude my TV screens. You can get really, really, really crazy here. You can select operating systems, Android, BlackBerry. This will give you a whole 6 views per year on BlackBerry, because I don't know if anybody's still on it. But device models, networks, all that good stuff here. Again, no really, real reason to exclude or include specific devices. If you just hate T-Mobile with a passion, just exclude their users, I guess. It's out of spite. That's for fun. Frequency capping. Again, here, I don't necessarily use frequency capping. You can, I would say is frequency cap view, especially because it's going to be a video campaign that might be using one video. You can say, hey, after you've seen this video, 6 times per month and you don't click on anything, then you can move on to the next person. Frequency capping, I start off not using frequency capping just because every year the statistic gets higher, which means I think Cosmo, how many years ago was 7 impressions?
It was a study from Harvard University's business school, I think out of the 1950s.
50s.
So
yeah, the 50s.
Traditional, but it's weird because digital marketers still use that number. Oh, it takes 7 impressions to catalyze a conversion, which is, I mean, that was pre, not just internet, but pre most, hardcore advertising pushes, I think.
Yeah. So I think the most recent one was now it's up to 32 or 33.
32.
Yeah, 32 impressions before a person takes action. So if you limit this thing to 15, it might sound good, but you might be actually cutting out a lot of your traffic. So, because I think on average, each one of us here sees an ad each day, at least 1,000 times. That's the average ad views per day. It's think about billboard, TV, computer, Facebook, you see 1,000 ads a day. So don't necessarily frequency cap this. I would turn it off. Ad schedule, yep, all day. Ad group name, again, you can choose different ad groups, but I want to share with you something I think is pretty cool. So this could be an ad group per video per product. So that's how, if you wanted to say ad group name, this could be my 2-pack trial size bottles. 2-pack trial size bottles. And you'll create an ad group per product or per video per group of products. If you want to, you can just have a brandable video and then just rotate all of your products. Say, hey, I just don't want to select the products because the video isn't relevant to any sort of products. You can actually just include all of your products. And then smart bidding should start to show the products that are having the best performance in your account. So that's a good backup. If you don't have a video about products and you have a branded ad, a video ad, use all of your products and the cream will rise to the top. When this product gets the most clicks and the most, the best view and the best click-through rate and the best cost per conversion, blah, blah, blah. It'll start to naturally use the better products in the video ad if you don't have ones. So you can just make, all products. It might be your ad group name because you might only have one video or you're just starting off. But you can use them per ad group. So 2 trial size pack, demographics. Again, we touched upon this. Audiences, again, for this one, in my opinion, DSK works the best. Custom intent audiences are hard for video, but DSK says, yeah, they type this into YouTube or they type that into Google or they visited websites with those keywords on there. It has a little bit better of a matching than custom audiences. So I would use DSK primarily. If you max out DSK on YouTube and display, you're probably a billionaire. And then you can switch to custom audiences. But custom audiences work really well, and I'll show you kind of a ninja trick at the end that I think is really, really cool. That's the audiences. Keywords here. This is where you would normally add your DSK. This is where your keywords are. So I'm just going to use hot sauce for right now. But know that you would want to copy and paste your search campaigns keywords here. This is where you'd use that. And then topics. I've actually had some pretty good topics. Topics are interesting because you can actually get into the nitty gritty. So food and drink, okay, that's relevant to hot sauce. Cooking and recipes, food. Well, what about cooking and recipes? Well, barbecuing. Yeah, that could be hot sauce. Barbecue and grilling for hot sauce. That makes sense. Now, what about food? Food, baked goods, breakfast. Oh, condiments and dressings. Okay, yeah, that makes sense for hot sauce. And you can pick these. Here's what you need to know, though. I want to share this as examples. Don't ever have a keyword and a topic. Those are include networks, which means if they're looking for hot sauce and Google says that they are in this topic, then show the ad to them. It's not an or. I have a lot of campaigns that people reach out to us and say, hey, it's not running. And I'm like, well, you have a keyword and an audience. So that has to match up. And then they have to be on YouTube at that time. So not only do they just have to be targeted, they also have to be actively on YouTube. So you can use topics. Topics I've had good success with, just as much success with keywords, but use them in different ad groups. Don't have them in the same one. They won't run. But I wanted to kind of share with you, yeah, you can use topics, and topics work really well. Where topics do help is by not having the like kids games and apps where sometimes DSK does. Topics usually do not. So a lot of times we'll see like, where did my ad show? They'd be like, oh, it had 17 clicks. Why? Because it was Blue's Clues. Well, that was a 4-year-old just smashing the screen. Topics usually don't have that issue. Sometimes they do. But again, a click is an indicator that they like it. Well, that's a 4-year-old smashing the button. Hey, 4-year-olds love this. Show more ads to 4-year-olds. It's a machine. Our placement and exclusion list will work. Placements. Don't use this one in the beginning, my opinion, because you're using DSK. If you don't want to use DSK and you're like, man, this audience is perfect for me, you can actually place your ad on a specific channel or video. Pretty cool stuff. If you said, hey, I know the YouTube channel that all my ads need to run on, any of those videos in that YouTube channel, like Food Network, great for hot sauce. I've had a $16 cost per view on Food Network because that was unbelievably expensive in that network, because Food Channel, everyone wants to advertise on Food Network. But you can actually say, there we go, Food Network, 1.7 million subscribers. Great. Any video that is watched on Food Network, if I wanted to use a keyword of hot sauce, if you have an interest in hot sauce and you're on YouTube and you're looking at Food Network and you're watching one of their videos, my ad will show. Again, your campaign is going to get few or no impressions because it's too narrow. See what happened? That's a pretty broad network. 1.7 million subscribers. Also, people are interested in hot sauce. Man, it's like Google's like, yeah, that doesn't happen very often. Again, that's why you don't include these. It's an ad group per placement, an ad group per keyword, an ad group per topic. Don't do them all at the same time. It won't run. But this is possible. You can do this. If I take off this keyword here, what you'll probably see is Google's like, oh, I'm probably not going to be spending enough. That's probably why. Food Network, again, that was like $16 per view. But just know that that's most likely what's going to happen. Again, it's good standard operating procedure. Use one of these targeting methods per ad group. Here's where I don't know if anybody, maximum cost per view, let's say $2. Then I'm going to get some impressions. Here's what's cool. I don't know if people knew this, but who has a link to a YouTube video? Doesn't matter which one. Anybody have any links to any YouTube videos at all? If not, I'll just do this one here. Okay, so this one here, obviously you're seeing an ad, yada, 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 yada. This was one in my, I like barbecuing. But this is this is a guy that's honey chipotle ribs on a Weber grill. Cool. He's using hot honey sauce. This could be an audience for hot sauce. I'm going to take this person's video. I'm going to use his video as an ad. I'm going to drive it to my website. A lot of people didn't know you could do this. Any video on YouTube When you upload the video to YouTube, you automatically say, yes, I allow other advertisers to use my video to drive ads to their own website. Public content. Nobody knows or likes that, but it's possible for you. Where you can use this as a good ninja tactic is, don't use this like this here, but if you know that there is an influencer that has reviewed a product like yours, or very similar to yours, or your product if you're a reseller, you can use that influencer's video selling your product, driving traffic to your own website. You can use any YouTube ad that you want. Now, I don't recommend taking this person's ad and then running an ad to his video and then selling hot sauce next to it. It's not going to be good. Where I have used this before is Evolve, that company that I share with you, has like 20 influencers, and those people just pump out amazing content all day long. And he's like, hey, do you mind if we use your videos? They're like, oh yeah, that's fine. And so they just grabbed their influencer video, which is a 27-minute hardcore sales video, and we use that to drive ads to our own products on our website, and it works really, really, really well. But if you don't have an ad, you can use someone else's ad if you want to. Just use that logically, I would say. So I'm just going to use this person's ad here because I don't have anything else right now. And then I'm going to drive it to Soleil.com /hot sauces, and then display URL is going to be, you can say this is again a vanity URL, so you can have it kind of title, case, and all that good stuff. And what you're going to see here is, you see the ad, this would be the video, and these would be my 3 products, my 3 hot sauces. When it's on mobile, it goes right underneath it. These are links to click and go right to those product pages. On desktop, it shows right here to the right of it. So use your own ad, obviously, when you can. If you don't have one and there's one that's about your product and it's a review and it's really, really good, you can use that one if you wanted to, and then use your product links here next to it. I guess I'll create the campaign, and then I'm going to have to pause this really, really quickly.
I've been neglecting chat.
Remove this one for now. Okay. Oh, we got some chats.
I think the first one was Osama's. Can you use a specific YouTube video to show up next to?
Oh, I think we just touched on that. Yeah. So yeah, you can use any video that you want. Any public video on YouTube.
Well, I think he's saying, can you advertise on that video? Like the targeting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can say, know how I did YouTube channel for Food Network? You could do YouTube video and say, if anybody watches this video, run my ad to it.
Now, I did that too with Uzair.
That's right.
We've got a buddy. He's a friendly competitor. He actually is the one that coached us on how to build a YouTube channel. And so, just as a joke, I started advertising on one of his YouTube videos.
Here's the bad part, though, is when you run on a different YouTube video, just know that other people are going to try to too. So your cost per view could be fairly expensive. Yeah, this wasn't it. It was a different one. Anyway, we did Food Network, and my cost per view was $16 for one ad to run. I don't remember exactly when that was, and which campaign it was in, because we've tested a lot of different YouTube placements. But I'll see if I can find it, and I'll share it with you guys some other time. But yeah, it was ridiculous. Like we ran it, all of a sudden we got like one view for $16, and I'm like, well, that's what it's going to take for this to run. I don't remember which ad group, which audience it was, and which campaign, but that's where this gets a little bit, this gets crazy, is if you're targeting one video, you could have 10 advertisers also targeting that one video, because that video has 1 million views on it. It's amazing. You're not going to be able to overlay your keywords. You're not going to be overlaying topics. You're just going to be putting an ad on that video. Your cost per view is going to be like a keyword. How many other people are bidding on the keyword? Well, how many other people are bidding on that video? So yeah, you could run it on a video, just no competition rises, especially with it's a very popular video. Trying to simplify the concept for myself. For these expensive sacrificial campaigns like Discover YouTube, is it best to expect minimal conversions, but with the expectation that ad spend is ultimately going to help smart campaigns learn? Then conversion should occur in smart campaigns. Yes. But the expectation for search and brand campaigns should be result in conversions. Yes. Again, depending upon your attribution model. Last click, no. Your search and brand, we're going to have a lot of well, most likely your search is going to have a lot of activity. But if you're using last click, smart shopping is going to have the most conversions. If you're running first click, smart shopping and brand and search are going to have conversions each, but those conversions may have ended up on smart shopping. So it might spend more, a lower ROAS on smart shopping is okay because they didn't end there. They ended there, but they didn't get the conversion there. It goes back to where they first began. So $100 a day in search and then $100 a day in smart shopping. $100 a day is going to be a lot of remarketing to that search campaign. There will be. If they get the conversion, it's not going to give it to it. So it's low ROAS, but the search campaign is going to say, hey, this one's performing really, really well. Make sure that you're using the appropriate bidding strategy, appropriate attribution model for these multi-channels and understand, okay, but they started here, but because of my attribution model, they ended here, but this was giving credit. So overall account totals make sense. And that's why you split it between 50% of your budget on smart shopping, everything else feeding it. Because you'll see, did those have a bunch of first click attributions? Now, here's the bad part is YouTube is not going to have a first click attribution necessarily. Smart shopping, for whatever reason, sucks up the attribution between video campaigns. Here's where you're also going to be, now Google's building this, so hopefully this is going to be available to us in the future. It's in beta, we're part of the beta program with them, but you'll see that the top paths, it says, hey, as part of a beta release, now we have video creative. Sweet. How many videos were seen that ended up resulting in a conversion? And then we're going to say, awesome. So let's look at like all time. Well, the video creative that included in the conversions. Oh, yay. Thanks, Google. It's unnamed. They're in the part of the beta. They're building it. Where we have seen them make progress, and this is in the assisted conversions model by video creative. It says, hey, Nature's Our Middle Name had 9 last click conversions and had 21 view conversions. Okay, so the assisted conversions are basically saying, hey, like we can't tell you the top pass because views just didn't work, but assisted conversion people that saw this either clicked 9 times and bought or viewed it 21 times and bought. Well, actually not 21, it's 21 minus 9. So this is really, this is horrible. They give you last click and then click and view. So 9 is going to be in that 21 there. This one, you have Yellow Bird Sauce had 0 click conversions, but 5 people that view the ad have bought and then spent 134. So we're starting to get this here. It says unnamed for 63,000. I don't know what that is. So again, part of the beta, you know, just not going to give it to you yet. They're building it. You don't get access to the beta until you run YouTube ads. But again, we don't know what's happening yet. We know it's having an effect because I can see my smart shopping get increase. Just know that they might view 3 ads and then click on the smart shopping, and then click on one of those YouTube ads, go to the website, leave, click on smart shopping. Smart shopping will be the first click. YouTube has horrible first click attribution. So don't think, oh, my first click is happening on YouTube. It should have followed a click. It doesn't. It is very, very difficult at tracking that for whatever reason. I don't know why. That's like that other company that I was telling you about that spends $1 million on YouTube and display had to do a different account so that smart shopping wouldn't try to steal that attribution.
Dylan says, what did you mean when you said to use DSK audience? Does that mean all visitors?
So when you have a cold traffic audience on YouTube and discovery, or sorry, YouTube and display, and we're going to build a display next, DSK is here. So I'll share with you what DSK does. So it's not going to be remarketing like all visitors. On DSK YouTube, this is what Google says. Okay. And I'll use specific examples. Qasim goes to YouTube and types in spicy sauce recipes. Google says, okay, well, someone went to YouTube and typed in spicy sauce recipe. Now that person a day later is looking at a dog video on YouTube, funny dog video. It says, hey, recently you typed in spicy sauce recipe. That's pretty closely matched to spicy sauce. So I'm going to show a YouTube ad about a spicy sauce to you, which is my video ad here because it's about my hot pepper sauce. And now what ended up happening is that person was one day just went to YouTube and typed in, spicy sauce recipes and like, oh, here's how to make ribs with hot sauce. And then all of a sudden next day it's like, hey, would you like to try these new jalapenos and srirachas and a link to buy? And here's a video reviewing how these taste and what the recipes you can use them for. Oh, that's relevant to me. Yeah, like I'm interested in the, I see these are only $9.99 and they have a value pack here for buy one, get one free. Cool. And they click and they go to the website. That's interesting. I like these sauces. I might have to buy one. I'll talk to my spouse, husband, wife, significant other, whatever it is, and say, hey, would you like to try these sauces with me? Let's pick ones that we both like. Smart Shopping says, hey, you went to the website and you were looking at these products. Would you like to buy one? Yeah, actually, I talked about it. I like the sriracha. She likes a jalapeno, or he likes a jalapeno, whatever it is. And they click on a remarketing ad, come back, and they purchase the products that they wanted to. All you're going to see on our side is 3 people click, no one bought. Smart Shopping had another person buy that day. We don't get a lot of information right now, but that is what's happening in the back end. DSK is saying, hey, what are you, did you type in habanero hot sauce into Google 2 days ago? Well, I wasn't running a search campaign 2 days ago, but I can now target that person 2 days ago that typed in habanero hot sauce. And when they go to YouTube to watch a funny dog video, they're going to see my hot sauce ad. That's how DSK is working. It's basically saying, are you taking any sort of action on these keywords here, like how Smart Shopping does? Only I'm going to incorporate a video added to you. All we're doing is replicating Smart Shopping here on YouTube. Did you take any of these actions? Yes. Smart Shopping says, are you taking any of these actions? Yes. Smart Shopping goes after them. We're saying, have you taken any of these actions by looking at any of these keywords? Yes. I'm going to put a video ad in front of you now, which Smart Shopping cannot do. Smart Shopping cannot put a really relevant product video ad with the link to buy a product on YouTube to that person. This is a way to replicate that function. If they click and don't buy, Smart Shopping converts them. Does that help explain the strategy here?
Someone said, oh, okay.
Cool. You answered it. Our max CPV was 20 cents. I'm sorry, Dylan. What was the comment you said? Our max CPV was 20 cents? Question mark. Is that what you said? You should place there?
I think that was his response when you were referencing the potential variation in costs.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So here's what's interesting too, is check this out, which is pretty neat. Google will give you an average CPV. Our average CPV on YouTube right now is 12 cents. 12 cents per view all time. Last 30 days, 13 cents. So yeah, it hasn't really changed. So here's what's interesting. Out of 11,000 views, we only had 647 people click. It cost us $2.30 per click. Okay, well, $2.30 per click's cool. My Smart Shopping, though, is getting 50 cents. Is it better than Smart Shopping? No. Did Smart Shopping run out of audiences that it knows they can give me at least a good profitable 400 or 500% or close to enough as possible return on investment to it? Yeah. The client was okay with going down to 250 because people buy 3 to 4 sauces on average. So this is really like a 500 to a 750 ROAS. This is just, we're making 2.5 back on our first purchase. So that's how this kind of works here. Yeah, during setup, set it to like $1. Set it high, because you're not going to get that all time. I never went over 13 cents cost per view on my YouTube campaign. But I started at like, I think $1. I never went above like 13 or 14 cents. It just allowed it to run. And the last 7 days, I have 6 conversions on $175. Cool. I mean, it cost me $1,400 to get those purchases, but it's helping Smart Shopping.
This whole day is like, it's the masterclass squared. This is stuff that I don't think most agencies really get into that often, to be honest with you, because it tends to be, just a lot deeper than most people dive. This is where you go if you run out of traffic, run out of audience, want to expand your existing campaigns. And then to the point that I think it was Jared. Jared, were you the one that said this? I really like the way that you contextualize this. These expansion campaigns aren't necessarily going to produce their own ROAS, but what you're going to see is what we call conversion lift. So you start running an expansion campaign and then all of a sudden Smart Shopping starts, if not increasing ROAS, at least increasing its ability to scale. If you think about the way that Smart Shopping is working, Google's using demographic and psychographic profiling factors in order to identify people who are purchasing on your website and then finding more of those people. Well, if you ever notice that Smart Shopping comes up against thresholds, adding new audiences gives Google new demographic and psychographic profiling factors. So one thing, and this isn't what we just talked about, but it's the reason we're going to have a Facebook crash course. When you add Facebook campaigns, we've had Facebook campaigns that either broke even or had a negative ROAS, but fed Smart Shopping. And we know that because we were running Smart Shopping for a long time, had a consistent ROAS, plateaued, added Facebook, and then all of a sudden we saw Smart Shopping increase not only in its ROAS, sometimes not at all, but often in its reach and its ability to go find more people. So the inventory for Google that people normally think about is search. The inventory for smart shopping is humans, which got a little creepy there, but it's the way to think about it.
All right, I saw Neha ask a question.
Yeah, she said a display one we should set up. And I said no because display is expensive. Was I wrong?
No, it's good, because what you'll see here when you look at the top versus other category, what you'll find is that smart shopping says display network is 0. However, it is heavily display. So the cross network, which means, yeah, went on search partners, went on search, or went on display, all of those is what brought you those conversions. So smart shopping is going to be display. Where you use display that smart shopping can't go is by expanding, is by running different DSK audiences in display and on YouTube, because I can only have this bidding strategy, maximize conversion value. I can't set a CPV, I can't set a CPC. I can only say, hey, if you're not gonna be able to maximize conversion value using these networks, especially trying to get at least a 250 ROAS, don't show there. And it says, okay, I'm gonna run out of audience one day. I'm gonna hit a ceiling. I max out my campaigns. And you say, well, okay, well, what do I do now? I can't find anybody else. I'm trying to spend $300 a day. And in the last 30 days, I only spent $1,705. Well, that $1,705 divided by 30 days, I'm only spending $56 a day. How do I spend more? You gotta increase other areas. So you have to feed it more information, you have to feed it more visibility, and you have to run them for a long time. We had the smart shopping campaigns start to dwindle and start to die. And so we had to run other audiences to kind of keep this back up and running. Now we're running at a good, we spend $5,600 per month in this account, and we get 11.8, which is awesome. So it's a 200% ROAS, basically doubling our money for our first sale. We're about break even, but doing this month over month with people that purchase 2, 3, 4, 5 times, you grow your business. And we looked at back end with the client during one of their board meetings, and they're like, yeah, we're actually seeing our sales increase a lot. And when we look at review, the only thing the client really wants to know is what's smart shopping and brand and search doing. I know that the money we spend on DSK and YouTube, we're not even counting that as ROAS. That's just advertising. That's like running a TV commercial. That's appropriate for this business. He's in Whole Foods. If he sees if a person sees 3 of their YouTube ads and then they're at Whole Foods the next 3 days and they see on the shelf, like, oh yeah, I remember this company. That's valuable to him. He's in retail locations as well. It's applicable for your business, for your brand. When to run this for you? If you're saying, hey, not in any stores, I'm just e-commerce, I have a small budget, I need to maximize every dollar, don't run it yet. Smart shopping will do that for you on the display network. If you max out the display network and you turn off the ROAS goal and nothing happens, but it just dips because you have $5 margins on your products, you're going to need to help feed it and then limit the amount of money that you're okay with spending on those sacrificial campaigns. And then you have to look at LTV. Remember, I think on day 1, the viability study. What is the LTV of your clients, of your customers? If they purchase 2.5 times on average, that's what your ROAS goal has to be indicative of. Because if they spend $30, and here's a really good study, $30.69, okay, and they have 2.5 purchases on average over the course of a year, that's $76. So let's just say $76 now. What is my cost per conversion? My cost per conversion is $12.74. Well, divide that by, let's just say $13. I'm at a 584 ROAS now. That's how we did this. So this actually is a 584% return on ad spend, and not really necessarily, because the 2.5 purchases, I only paid for 1. My next 2 purchases, or 1.5 purchase, is free. It's $30. So again, that's how you have to think about this. If you have multiple purchases, when you're up and running for longer, when you run a display campaign, well, when you want to run a display campaign for when hey, I'm getting a 500 ROAS and I hit a ceiling, I can go down to 400. because my LTV is good and I can afford to have a sacrificial campaign that I can spend money on expanding into. That's how you have to think about this. It's a holistic business. It's not just like there's this one campaign working really, really well. And that's where I think a lot of advertisers or agencies kind of forget that. It's like they look at this number here and like, this is terrible, we're losing money. It's like, well, did they purchase twice? Yeah. Okay, we're good. I have 416% or higher if it's 2.5.